like Dr. Ford, who bravely comes forward, need to be heard, but they need to be believed. Guess who's perpetuating all of these kinds of actions? It's the men in this country, and I just want to say to the men of this country, just shut up and step up.
Let me just say right at the outset, I believe Dr. Ford, I believe the survivor.
I believe her. Many, many, many Americans believe her. Many, many women in America who have been taken advantage of certainly believe her.
I believe her because she's telling the truth.
Maybe this country is a lot more racist and sexist than we thought.
These white men, old, by the way, are not protecting women. They're protecting a man who is probably guilty.
Dr. Christine Blasey Ford is a courageous woman.
The hard evidence that, that if you're accused of something, show the evidence.
Some women might hear that and say, how could you say that, Mrs. Trump? You need to stand with women.
Over the past few months, I've noted on several occasions that Biden, some of the Democrats, and some in the media have begun repeating this phrase that all women must be heard, which is obviously a walk back from their original mantra of all women must be believed. As we all know, when people like Brett Kavanaugh or Clarence Thomas are accused, the left-wing media insists that we believe those women, believe all women, to the tune of national marches and an endless drumbeat from the daily news broadcasts. That brings us to this New York Times article that must be a hallucination, because reading it makes me feel like none of this is real and I'm actually this guy. The headline of this article is "Believe All Women is a Right-Wing Trap. How Feminists Got Stuck Answering for a Canard." You can see the headline and you can read it, but it's still unbelievable to see something so Orwellian in a supposed mainstream publication. It's such an obvious contradiction and rewrite of history. Because, as we all know, believe all women was the mantra of the left, Democrats, and their media during the Kavanaugh hearings. Sorry for the interruption, but just give me 30 seconds to tell you about this deal from this episode's sponsor. Let me show you all one of the things that's helping me to look better and feel great. In the year 2020, it's important to keep your body healthy all the time. Collagen may be the closest thing that we ever get to a real fountain of youth, and many health experts now agree consuming collagen is as crucial as it gets to renewing and revitalizing how you look and feel. After all, collagen is the most abundant protein in your body and is essentially the glue that holds you together. So visit my page at www.healthwithdronetek.com and secure your supply of the best collagen on the market.
I think the message is that if you come forward, no matter how credible you are, no matter how calm and reasonable and truthful you are in your testimony, that you won't be taken seriously. You'll be sort of patted on the head and patronized the way the Republicans did with Christine Blasey Ford, of saying, oh, we believe her, but we don't believe that it was Brett Kavanaugh.
The line, the takeaway is that an incendiary accusation doesn't mean an instant conviction. And while this is not a court of law, this is important that people have the presumption of innocence. And that is what we take away.
Clearly, that was all just theater and a desperate attempt to try and keep that seat from going to a conservative. Many of us called it at the time and pointed out the obvious folly of throwing out the presumption of innocence. And I can't overstate this enough. It's easy to forget because this happened such a long time ago, way back in 2018. But at the time, Democrats were losing their minds and pulling all kinds of insane stunts. It's just such a stark contrast between the way Democrats and the media acted when the accusations were against Brett Kavanaugh, a conservative Republican, and now where they're just blowing off these accusations to run cover for Joe Biden.
Kavanaugh.
Mr. Chairman.
To serve as Associate Justice.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be recognized for a question before we proceed. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be recognized to ask a question before we proceed. The committee received just last night, less than 15 hours ago, 42,000 pages of documents that we have not had an opportunity to review or read or analyze.
You're out of order. I'll proceed.
We cannot possibly move forward, Mr. Chairman.
I extend a very warm welcome
we have not been
Judge
given
Kavanaugh,
an opportunity to have a meaningful
his wife,
hearing
Ashley.
on this nominee.
I believe this hearing should be postponed.
I know this is an exciting day for all of you here, and you're rightly proud.
Mr. Chairman,
of the
if we cannot be recognized, I move to adjourn.
The American people.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn.
Directly from Judge Kavanaugh.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adjourn. turns this hearing into a charade and a mockery of our norms.
Well,
and Mr. Chairman, I therefore move to adjourn this hearing.
Okay.
This is a mockery and a travesty of justice. This is a travesty of justice. We will not go back. Cancel Brett Kavanaugh. Adjourn the hearing.
We all knew they would never hold their side to the same standards, and surprise, surprise, we were correct. From the piece, it's never been feminist boilerplate. What we are witnessing is another instance of the right decrying what it imagines the American women's movement to be. No, it was not only feminist boilerplate, but mainstream Democrat plus media boilerplate. We're simply trying to hold you to the standards that you set out when your political opposition was being accused. Over and over, we see this contradiction. Bill Clinton being another great example. Can you blame this deluded, projecting mental illness that calls herself a feminist author? She knows the media will back her and will, in one way or another, rewrite history to favorably suit the Democrats and, more immediately, Joe Biden. That's exactly why we have to keep reminding people of the truth. And you can help do that right now by hitting that like button and subscribing. You might as well go ahead and hit that notification bell while you're at it. Another well-known feminist author, I'm told, her name is Jill Filipovic. She tweeted out in support of this article saying, "This from Susan Faludi is so important. Feminists never said believe all women. The right inserted the all." What? Feminists said believe women. That is, start with the assumption that women are telling the truth instead of reflexively doubting them? I don't follow. That just sounds like the exact same thing said a different way. What's the difference between believe all women and starting with the assumption that women are telling the truth? By your own admission here, you're the one reflexively doubting Tara Reid. I can't believe they're actually trying to claim otherwise. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you all about this really lazy attempt to rewrite history by one of our allegedly premier sources of hard-hitting journalism. And as we all know now, that story is all but gone from the media cycle. And they'll quickly replace it with another made-up outrage about Trump by Tuesday. Well, that's all for this episode. Please, please, please hit that like button and share and subscribe while you're at it. If you really want to help the channel, that's a great way to do it. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do so on one of these platforms. You can find all the links in the description and pinned comment. Thanks for watching. Keep coming back.